The brand new African Football League is just around the corner. 8 teams will battle it out for what is now the continent's biggest prize. But who will come out on top? And how will this change the game in Africa?
Hello there and welcome to Football Now from Doha. On this week's show we're turning our attentions to Africa, where after a short delay the continent's newest elite football competition, the African Football League, is set to finally kick off on October the 20th. For the first year only 8 teams will compete for a share in the prize pot worth almost €10 million. But getting this tournament underway has been a while in the making, so let's take a look at what it is and why it's taken so long to finally arrive.
Announced under the name African Super League in November 2019 by FIFA President Gianni Infantino, the original plan was to have a competition of 24 teams. However, the Confederation of African Football announced losses of nearly €15 million in the financial year, which resulted in a delay to the competition's start date, with the tournament scaled down to just 8 clubs. Those 8 clubs involved this year will include current CAF Champions League winners Al Ahly from Egypt. Joining them will be one club picked from each of Africa's other top 7 leagues, including Tanzania's Simba Sports Club. So too will the South Africa champions Mamelodi Sundowns. Also with them are Petro Atletico from Angola, Democratic Republic of Congo's TP Mazembe, Tunisia's Esperance, Enyimba FC of Nigeria, and Wydad Casablanca from Morocco. All 3 rounds, including the final, will be played over 2 legs, with the winner being decided on November the 11th.
Well, the Africa Football League, as it was now known, conceived by FIFA and then the Confederation of African Football, CAF, to have an elite club football for Africa. African football, yes, of course, has its audience when it comes to the bigger football showpiece, that's the Africa Cup of Nations. But at club level, only a few clubs are very well established. They have a big fan base, they have a huge following. But a competition like this should, of course, kick off with a big fanfare and obviously with a huge support. And kicking it started has been difficult because, 1, the marketing aspect of it, 2, to attract sponsorship to get the competition going, and then getting all the teams agreeing together, making sure that we get this competition going.
Yeah, some big African sides in there. Now, it won't have escaped your attention there that the tournament was originally called the African Super League before a decision was made to rebrand following the negative connotations associated with the failed European Super League a few years ago. And whilst the project was met with some disdain from the fans, the CAF president, Patrice Motsepe, wants the world to view its African cousin as a more positive competition. It begs the question, though, how is this version any different, and do the fans have an alternative outlook compared to those in Europe?
Yeah, look, I think, and I can speak from a South African point of view with regards to that. People just love football, so the more often they see their teams competing, especially at the highest level, there's a genuine love for their sides. From a footballing point of view, I have not heard or seen a lot of outcry, especially, like I said, from a South African perspective. There's genuine pride there for Mamelodi Sundowns and their fans that we get to compete in this inaugural event. We get to compete in a tournament that, is a first of its kind on the continent, a tournament that can grow to be something really elite.
Now, when the FIFA president Gianni Infantino revealed their visions for the competition back in 2019, the aim was to revolutionise the infrastructure of African football. Only one World Cup has ever been hosted on the continent, but the passion that the fans have for the game is plain to see. Using the money generated from the African Football League tournament, the idea is to build at least one modern football stadium in every African country going forward. So could this be a pathway to more World Cups in the future?
This competition aims to showcase the top club teams in Africa. It is intended to advance African football in general as a product, and in return, maybe Africa can get another shot at hosting the World Cup. The last time the continent hosted a World Cup was in 2010, when it was held in South Africa, a historical moment for Africans and African football. So everybody is excited about this tournament, and they hope it can bring so much, vision to the continent. So let's see how it goes.
Now, one of the biggest challenges that this competition will face is no doubt logistics. Not only can Africa be somewhat difficult to travel around, but this particular competition will coexist alongside other league and cup competitions, meaning an even busier schedule for those players. So just how much of a concern is this, and how will those particular players be looked after?
It's a big issue. There's been too much football already. In Africa, to be specific, looking at this competition, you already have a CAF Champions League. There's already also qualifiers for the World Cup, which is going to start in November for the African qualifiers. We've just finished or concluded the Africa Cup of Nations qualifiers. So it's going to be very difficult to put these fixtures together and making sure that the schedules are on time. For the most part, they would say we would play around it. Since it's just 8 teams, you're talking about 16 matches, because it's going to be on a home and away fixture basis. So looking at that, the 16 matches, it wouldn't affect the main fixtures of the clubs in the CAF Champions League and also the CAF Confederations Cup.
Yeah, really exciting time for football in Africa then, on the eve of a brand new tournament on the continent. That is all we have time for on this week's show. Do let us know your thoughts at home using the hashtag FootballNowAFL, and we'll see you at the same time next week. Bye for now.